First, I'd like to show the video, and then I will speak to you after that.
If there's anybody watching this, I hope they like this. But I want to do my job right because so I can get money when I go to school.
My favorite thing I would say is math because my mom, she was good with numbers in school, so that passed down to me.
I get to play basketball and gym and other fun things. I like to do numbers and homework and spelling words.
My favorite thing about school has to be getting the last class so I can go home.
I'm just scared. I can't explain what's the reason, but I'm just too scared for anything.
I sleep in the church with a nice air mattress.
Because people, when I go to sleep, they don't go to sleep. It just makes me just stay up. Sometimes we get one mat and sometimes two. One mat, it's not comfy.
I get up, my back hurts. See, when I get on my old bed, my back doesn't hurt. When I get up off the floor, it hurts.
A vehicle, food, clothing, and a home. Because I have to wake up really early because I sleep at a church. I don't really want to wake up, but after that, I get my clothes on, get my boots on, then we go outside, and then we go to the center, get all the book bag stuff ready, and then we eat a quick breakfast, and then we start walking to school.
I'm scared of people. Like if they ask me to walk me home, and it's hard when you're struggling.
I just tell them that we're staying at a hotel because we're on vacation.
I need coloring pencils, 5 books, math books, and reading books so I can read, and some uniform, pants, and sneakers and shirt.
I like them to know that it's not easy being homeless and that many people are, and that we're just looking for an opportunity to have our own place.
I'm kind of proud of myself.
First service you get choked up, second service I still get choked up because I know these kids. They're not homeless anymore, you should know that. Olivia said that she was proud of herself. You should be proud of yourself too. And part of the reason why I'm here today is that I'm not going to preach to you, I'm not going to beg for anything, but really my message today is how you as a church and our community of churches have impacted these children's lives and other children. Since the recording of this video, Diane Nyland, who's a good friend of ours, she's a national advocate. She travels all over the United States advocating for these kids and trying to get laws passed, which she has. And one of those laws was the McKinney-Vento law, which means no kid gets left behind. For those of you in education, you may know that no matter what their situation is, if they're homeless, like these kids were, they remain in their home school, and they will send transportation to get them no matter where they are in the county, where they're sleeping, where they're eating their meals. And so thanks to Diane, who talked to these kids. There were no adults in this film. It was just their heart, their words, and what was on their mind. And so I say you should be proud of yourself, because I want to highlight a few things of what it is that you've done to make an impact. And so a lot of people think that homeless is a 20-year-old male person who may have an addiction. And that is one type of homeless person. But the national average of a homeless person is 9 years old. Did you know that? 9 years old. These children, since they came to CARES, were exposed, and the children that are there now and the children that yet to come, are exposed to the church, to Christians, to prayer, to evening devotions or morning devotions. They're exposed to homework help, guidance, and authentic love. That's what you did for these kids. You saw them going into the church, so every single night they're going into a church somewhere. Every month it changes to a different church. But you have an opportunity sometimes for the very first time, because they may have never ever in their young life, or even the adults, or even the volunteers that come to CARES, ever walk inside a church door. Don't know what it's like to hear about Jesus. They don't know what it's like to be in the building where God wants them to be and to love them. So I want to highlight some of the examples of what you've done to impact these people. And real quick, before I get into that, I'm going to ask Sandra Arnold to come up real quick and tell you how she's really kind of instrumental. She won't ever draw attention to herself about the morning breakfasts on Saturday. So she's going to tell you how that got started.
This is one of my favorite stories to tell in the whole world. The reason we are doing breakfast at Carlisle Cares once a month is because of an elementary school age child. This child saw a homeless person and wanted to feed this homeless person, and from there went on to have a Sparks group that made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to take to Carlisle Cares. And for some reason, I thought that this would be important for my granddaughter to also see. And so I brought her along. We made the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We went to Carlisle Cares, and this young lady was Sarah Hyder, as you all know, Sarah's heart. But Sarah wanted to help people, to feed people, and so we went there and we went on a tour by Pat LaMarche, and Pat explained to us that these folks don't get anything to eat on Saturday morning. No one feeds them. Monday through Friday they're fed breakfast, and on Sundays they're fed breakfast, but nothing on Saturdays. So we get in the car, and my granddaughter asked me lots of questions about the people that we had just met. Why don't they have jobs? And I explained to her that they do. A lot of them do. And she had a lot of questions that I thought, lots of adults ask too. And so I told her about these folks. And she said, did Sarah think about this all by herself? And I said, well, I don't know. And she thought. And the next thing I heard was, well, I want to do something too. So I said, how about they talked about this breakfast, that they never get breakfast. And that really hurt my heart. And I saw bags of just, I think it was a Saturday morning we were there, and there were just bags of rolls that were there. And that was what they had to eat. And so I said, said, let's do this breakfast. And the first time we went, it was my brother-in-law, Brad Auger, Nadia, my daughter Cassie, and myself, and we brought them bagels and juice and juices, and it went from there, because when you meet these people, you just want to do everything you can for them. And it went from there to an invitation to the prayer shawl team, and we would go out just when it was convenient. And then there was a meeting, and Pastor Jan said, do you think at this point that we could do this once a month? And the answer was yes. And so now every Saturday we're there. We try to bring them healthy, hot food, and just love them, because they are our brothers and sisters. They are just like us, and God wants us to love them too. And we are going this Saturday, and a lot of our regulars cannot make it. So if you want to meet these folks, this Saturday is a good opportunity to do it. And there's also a bin in the back of the church. These folks are always in need of coffee, creamer, razors, deodorant. So there's a bin, and I collect the things and take them over when we go to breakfast. So that's another way that you can make a difference with something small.
Thanks, Sandra. And so that's an example of how you make an impact on people. If you could show that first slide for me, thank you. So this is a group picture, and this is not by far any means of everybody that does that. This was a picture that I was able to gather. So one of the things that I did was I interviewed some of the residents at the shelter and asked them how they felt about that breakfast. And one of my staff said, it's wonderful, and they're so respectful. And she said, what time do they get up anyway to prepare that stuff, because they're there so early? So that was an impact on my staff, that Middlesex was so dedicated that they would get up that early. Another guy says, he said to me, he said, it is so nice that they take the time on their Saturday. They took their Saturday for us. And when they ask how we're feeling, it's genuine, that they're not just saying it because, you have small talk, but they told me, they wanted you to know that they felt that it was truly genuine. And so Lester said, that food is really good food. And the reason why he was saying that, just like Sandra said, sometimes it's just rolls, sometimes it's leftover stuff from an event, which they're also appreciative of, but that they recognized that they felt loved because this church took the time to give them and put the love into the recipe and the love into the food and brought it to them, and not just gave them seconds. And so Patty says, it starts our day off really well. We come from the church, we're sleeping on the floor, and we come in, and there are people there that are praying with us, they're talking with us, and they had it ready for us. So this slide is a representation of the impact that this group of people have made on those at the shelter. Jesus sees these people, and he uses their eyes. When I say these people, I mean the people that are serving. You might think it's you that's going there, but it's Jesus that's going there. You might think that you're saying your own words, and you're praying your own words, but God is using you as the vehicle. You are just the means of him getting to them. Just think about that. Jesus uses your mouth to speak kind words. He uses your eyes to see them for who they really are and not who the world perceives them. He uses your hands to lovingly serve them. And he uses your heart to care for them. Jesus uses all of you, your heart, your hands, your eyes, your ears, to serve them. They can truly see him and know that God is there with them in their time of need. God uses your heart and your hands, I can't say that enough, to love them. And that love is for you as well, that he loves you and trusts you to use you in those opportunities. That's what gets me. That's what keeps me going back every time and staying and serving people, because I know that my Lord God is using me as a vessel and He trusts me. Do you know how important that is? And what kind of impact that is? So another way that God uses you, if you go to the next slide, please, is through monetary donations. There's a number that's missing up there, and a lot of you know about Happy Feet, right? Shake your heads, yes. So Happy Feet brings in another $1,000, so you can add $1,000 to that. What those numbers don't tell you is the impact of the money. It's very easy to put it in the offering plate. It's very easy to mail the check. But guess what that money does? That money from 2016 and so far up to 17, these are estimated numbers, by the way, they're not exact numbers. So at the Resource Center, they need to take showers, they need to do laundry, they need to have breakfast. They need to be able to have a closet, which, by the way, they don't have a closet. They just have a locker. And they need a safe place to be. Today we might have thunderstorms. If you're homeless and you're a child that's homeless, it can be a little scary to be in a storm, but where do you go? So at the day center, they're able to be there. So the money that you gave, because of you and what God has given you, so that you could give for the primary needs and the life-saving needs, were met by 1,500 loads of laundry. Now keep in mind, that's without the $1,000 that wasn't added in here. It's a lot of loads of laundry, right? And there's a lot more provided, but this is just what you guys did, okay? 2,813 showers. It's a lot of water. And then that picture, which might be a little hard to see, is of a church with mats on the floor. You saw it in the video with the kids. That's 1,300 beds were provided in the church. Nowhere else but in God's house for God's children. Money makes an impact. If you are homeless and you don't have a job, what do you use for an address, for an application? You don't have an address. How are you going to have them call you back? So the Resource Center provides all that. Last year, 333 people found a place to stay permanently. 3 people were going through cancer treatment. Being homeless is one hurdle. Imagine having cancer and being homeless at the same time. Thankfully, we have wellness rooms at the Resource Center that they can lay down and rest after those treatments. Also, the numbers in this is 82 children. 82 children received shelter and housing and all the services and all the love and all the attention because the community cared. The church community cared. You cared. There were also 37 veterans. That was a 60% jump from the year before. 37 veterans. There were also 33 people that were over the age 60. That's another growing trend. So I'm telling you these numbers because for years, and even myself, I thought of homeless as being that 25-year-old guy that made bad choices. But you can tell by what I just told you about the children and the veterans and people over 60 are homeless too. We had try not to give you too many numbers, but I really want you to understand how much you have done and how I'm appreciative, they're appreciative. 195 people got jobs. That was a huge number to me. That 195 people, because they had an address and because they had a place to take a shower, because they had a place to wash their clothes, they had a place to rest, to go to their jobs. 195 people were able to get back on their feet. And so I stand here saying, I am proud and honored to be a part of this church and all that you have done for all of these people. This is love, and which you should know pleases our God. For all that you've done and are doing, as well as what's to come, pleases God. He uses your body, He uses your hearts, He uses your hands. And so I just say that, I am speaking for all of those that ever received prayer from you, that ever received food from you. I see some of my volunteers in here, ever received a kind word. God is pleased about that, and I'm pleased about that. So today I want you to celebrate in that. It's not a somberness, it's a celebration, because all of those people, without you, would have not had those opportunities. Those children would have not had those opportunities. And that's what we're called to do. Amen? Amen. Thank you.